Yeah, glitch the guarantee. E&E. Put your boy shit. Glitch, nigga. Shit, I'm about to flood the streets like when the levees break. Criminal minds, my Garcia can navigate. Flowing while I'm blowing this gas. Nigga, no breaks. Niggas not seeing me ever. I mean, no dates. Fuck around and end up gone. You getting misplaced. E&E, the shit that I claim. You dealing with grace. Took over the game by storm like Rain's mixtape. Thankfully, I been up in smoke like my mixtape. Counting cheddar shit, I'm about to make a grilled cheese. Niggas be faker than bad bitches with good weeds. On my John Wick shit like Keanu Reeves. Replacements won't be enough, you need the whole team. I've been a G since I could finish my ABCs. Kept it a buck so real niggas look up to me. This butcher boy shit get crazy. When it's sick of me, I'm coughing out these dope bars till they sick of me.
Can't get rid of me, still can't find a remedy. Still blowing palmers, info cups of Hennessy. E&E, we own our shit independently. When I go out on a limb, I take extremities. I can see right through on transparency. Heard they self-esteem low, insecurities. Now or never, like glitch the guarantee. What's the recipe? King L's Reflection 3. All these chapters in my life, you can turn a page. Books can't tell you my story, gotta live a day. Glitch got my back, yeah. You can copy that. Man, we control the seat, you can copy that. Leave your whole stage. With your boys, E&E, you in trouble, kid. At first 100 mil, you can double it.
Let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. Automatic nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Blow sick, corona, jealous in the motherfucker. Can't even take a step, that's how far I trust you. This black boy turned to shining king under pressure. West side fat jacks, I took more to measure. Shave the extras, that's business, starter fees. Street blues, what I talk, royal blood flowing free. Power on my mind, knows the gang is kind. Read between the lines, it was in my eye. If they ain't got real lines, it ain't hard to spot a counterfeit. Undefeated, ultra real, Fern Gully Mountain shit. Couple hot shots, turning to frozen margaritas. Even better when it's served with some flawless features. Next year they gotta pay for these flawless features. Flawless victories from the flaws that they teach us. Now my flow imitate how I board the plane non-stop. The little J gon' take over with my time stop.
Yeah, I get right to it. My nigga, we beg your pardon. We putting niggas back in boxes. Yeah, they be harder. My flow be retarded. Sick, I need hella help. My groove came back, this must be how Stella felt. We just started kicking it like a yellow belt. We all made it to the pro. This is how LaMelo felt. You better yell out help. Here comes the double team. You catch me in the spot, then you know that the boy is clean. The Louis V look mean with the magazine. So if you try it, you get shot. No vaccine. If you was asleep before I came, then I'm the caffeine. I pulled the jokers out the deck. Yeah, there ain't no laughing. In CEO fashion, we sticking to the business. Wouldn't even let a vegan knock me off my chicken. Something about the VVS when the sun is hitting. Should be flashing like the lights when you getting
Let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Yeah. I already know, man. This shit breathing your brother. Look, I apologize for being late, man. We about to get to it, though. Tap in and walk with us. Uh-oh. Let's go.
Yeah. Glitch the guarantee. E&E. 2020 got me seeing so clear. Put your boy shit. Lost and Glitch. You cool nigga.
Smash that like on cooking with
This is the crew. We on the rise now, middle fingers in the sky now. Rolling haze, so we high now. How we ride now? All coops with the top down. And we listen in the top down. Trees got a whole pound. Real G's when we come round. Niggas know how it's going down. Yeah, we on the up, bitch. Real shit you should fuck with. E&E, throw it up shit.
And we stay ballin', like we sponsored by Sporting. Ball looking for the fall-in, soldiers all fall in. And we go all in, while we listening to all in. While you all talking, we smoking and coughing. Till we land in the coffin, glitching, nauseous. Yeah, stepping out office. Yeah, it is that bullshit. Kill him in vain is vanity. Do it again, it's insanity. Nauseous a real vigilante. Killing these kids is plan B. Hood is too hot with an antifreeze. Blowing on leaves in these planted trees. Don't break the code, that's family. We cutting off legs like amputees. My flow was classic, antique. Freaking the beat is it Japanese. Ever our cook is a masterpiece. When money talkers be Guapanese. Fire and flame mixed with gasoline. Passing my sons, that's a legacy. Study the gang, how they testing me. They dropped the ball, man, that's incomplete. Beat them so bad, make them retreat. All of these gems you can retweet. Play with your boys on repeat. You pay the price with your receipt. Below $1 million, flipping it. Everyday noise get sickening. Trying to flip bills to trillions. Turning these good girls to villains. Lyrics is sick, butcher with shit. E&E clip what we represent. Put it on wax like a candlestick. We moving units and measurements. Cooking it up in the lab. We just performing experiments. Since I'm the bomb atomic, bang. These rappers out of my
We on the
element.
rise now, middle fingers in the sky now. Rolling haze, so we high now. How we ride now? All coops with the top down. And we listen in the top down. Trees got a whole pound. Real G's when we come round. Niggas know how it's going down. Yeah, we on the up, bitch. Real shit you should fuck with. E&E, throw it up shit.
And we stay ballin', like we sponsored by Sporting. Poor looking for the fall-in, soldiers all fall in. And we go all in, while we listening to all in. While you all talking, we smoking and coughing. Till we land in the coffin, glitching, nauseous. Yeah, stepping out office. Yeah, it is that bullshit.
Glitch, nigga. Perfected my flow. If I'm on the track, then you know it's a go. The guarantee, nigga, and I guarantee treat the gas like the Clippers. You know I'm a choke. Only exotic when blowing the smoke. No one ahead of me. I got the recipe. Do this shit easily. This is my destiny. Sick throwing lobs, I'm dunking on everything. Niggas is sick, and I got the remedy. What I prescribe is extra artillery. Get in my zone and start going berserk. I'm feeling like Clay when he went off for 60. With the bullshit, swear to God you can miss me. Best friends with the money, Aaliyah and Missy. I come from the bottom, to try me is risky. Throwing this K like that bitch is a frisbee. Real talk, let me lock in, show these niggas what I do. Axe Rain, I be standing next to players too. Front line shit, nigga, I'm the fucking truth. Top 6 ever of the 5 in my group. Niggas still bang top down in the coop. Butcher boyed up and we coming for the loot. E&E shit, we the best, yeah, it's true. This to guarantee you, nigga, this is what I do.
Yeah. What up, man? Pops, what's happening, man? You know what I'm talking about? We got my pops in the chat. My fault, I didn't mean to do that. My pops is in the chat. What's good with your pops, man? Yeah. What up? It's your brother, Virgil Bear, a.k.a. Stacks with the Facts. I apologize for the tardiness, man. Listen, I told y'all it's summertime in my city, and it goes down. You dig? I was at Maybe Moore Park in my city, and every Thursday for a period of about 2 months, they have like a beautiful gathering, just black people, majorly, and it's in the historically black area in the King Arts Historical District, you feel me? And this was beautiful. We had all black vendors out there. We had all the food, they had like 8 food trucks out there, all black owned. They had people out there selling clothes, people out there selling all types of stuff, man. It just was beautiful, man. You know what I mean? They had the live band, cover band playing all the greatest hits. It just was dope, man. You know, I was out there hanging with our people, man. You feel me? It was beautiful. Definitely was a beautiful thing, man. You know what I mean? Me and my sister was up there, seen a lot of the homies up there, friends. It was beautiful, man. You know, I took some pictures and all that stuff, some video and all that. And yeah, man, it was just beautiful. I ain't gonna lie, man. I felt great. You know what I'm saying? Just being amongst my people. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no bullshit going on, no guns, no violence, no fighting. Everybody out there kicking it, eating food, listening to the live music, doing business with each other. You know what I'm talking about? There buying clothes, buying perfumes, buying. You know, they had the people from the a couple of people had their own insurance company out there. You know what I'm talking about? Black lady was out there with the life insurance booth. I'm just saying it was dope. The real estate, oh man, it was fire, man. You know what I'm saying? Fire. Beautiful, man. Just showed me when we get on code with each other, we don't really need to mess with nobody else, man. All we just need to do business with ourselves. Keep our bread circulating amongst ourselves, and we all eat eventually, man. You know what I'm talking about? It was beautiful, man. It's forever. I wish I could have been there. You know what I'm saying? I'm got a video I'm gonna make. I'm gonna go up there next Thursday too. You know what I'm talking about? And it's a beautiful thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Just kicking it with all our people. You know what I'm talking about? Beautiful black people everywhere, man. You know, and like I said, all the businesses. I was supplied. They had like a food court out there. It was a food court with like 8 food trucks out there, all black owned. XL Pro was having it. You know what I'm saying? They had the barbecue spot. They had the Bahamian spot. They had the Jamaican spot. They had 2 soul food spots. They had a smoothie truck serving non-dairy smoothies and frozen drinks. Oh, it was dope, man. They had the girl out there with the lemonade stand, with the homemade fresh squeezed lemonade. Did mad different flavors. I actually knew her. We used to work together at a bar in my city that closed down during the pandemic due to all the situation called Buckeye Crazy, which at that time was one of the most popping little bar club reels to go to in the city. She up there, you know what I'm saying, selling her lemonade, you know. Our godson supported the business. I went to the Queen's Table, which is a classic, historic Columbus, Ohio food. One of the first food trucks in Ohio, in Columbus, man. One of the first food trucks in Columbus, for real, man. Hey, listen, my brother, rest in the essence to my brother K-Roll, man. K-Roll got me hit to the Queen's Table back in like 97, 98. He was like, little bro, man, you got to try this sandwich, man. It's the fish boat right up here by Bob's Market. That's where they used to be. They used to be in that lot right over there by Bob's Market. Now they got a couple different food trucks, and they be everywhere going to festivals. They was at the Rib Fest this weekend just passed. At the Food Truck Festival. They'll be going down at the Commons, I think, every Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I love my city in the summertime because there's just so much stuff to do, man. There's something literally going on every night. So that's why I was late, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I was kicking it with the brethren and the sistren. And it just was beautiful. We had the kids out there playing games. They had face painting for the kids. You know what I'm saying? They had it just was beautiful, man. It was beautiful, man. It just reminded me of how things could be amongst us if we all just got on code with each other, man. You feel me? It was beautiful, man. I ain't gonna lie. Truly beautiful. That's why I was like, man, I know when I tell everybody why I'm late, I know they ain't gonna trip when I tell them why I'm late. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? I was kicking it with our people, man. You know what I'm saying? Spending money with I spent about $50 up there. You know what I'm saying? Supporting our black-owned businesses, you did. And y'all know I support black-owned business heavy over here. You know what I'm talking about? So it was beautiful, y'all. So that's why I was late. You feel me? They do it every Thursday for a period of about 2 months. The Ohio State Fair is going on right now in my city. I'm going to call my daughter tomorrow, see if she want to go on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful thing, man. Summertime in my city is fire, man. I love summertime in my city, man. Always something to do. Literally every day, something going on. Always something going on in my city, man. You know what I'm talking about? And you know I'm gonna be right there. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, that's the reason why I'm late, y'all. You feel me? Charge it to my head, not my heart. You did. Shout out to my pops, man. We about to have pops back up in a minute. We about to get the spiritual roots back popping. You know what I'm talking about? Pops is you know what I'm saying, alive and well and ticking and clicking. You know what I'm talking about? Because I think right now, the time we're living in right now, especially with this new election coming up, about to be, this regime change about to be happening in our country, yeah, I think we really need to get back to it, Pops, man, because, you know, it's crazy out here, man. But yeah, though, man, we ain't gonna waste no time, man. Like I said, I apologize for being late. You know, but I'm gonna do a part 2 to this too, because you know what I'm saying, we gotta go to the foundation, and I'm not gonna do that tonight. I gotta holler at Els to see if he is. I mean, he didn't say he wasn't, so I'm gonna assume that L's still going out of town. So we probably ain't gonna have no show tonight for Friday night wrap up because L going out of town. You know what I'm saying? Him and his lady. And you know how that go, man. You know what I'm talking about? So he might not be able to join the show. Oh, gee, what's happening, man? You know? You feel me? My brother OG in the building. You know? Who y'all voting for in the election? If y'all ain't got to tell me, but if you don't mind telling me, who y'all voting for in the election? I ain't voting for nobody, y'all. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Like I said, if I got to pick between Trump and Harris, I just ain't going to vote, man. You know? I just ain't going to participate. I'll let y'all sit up there and participate. You know? I'll let y'all participate in all of that craziness. Y'all don't vote either, though, G, so we in the same boat. Vote don't count for jack squat. All right? See, the delusion is they give you a voice, then turn around and make you pick from these clowns. The illusion of choice. All right? You know? And that's how it goes. So I just don't see no point in voting. I know my vote don't count for jack diddly. You know? So I ain't gonna participate, man. Wasting my time and my effort, you know, we're screwed either way it go. We're screwed, man. You know? But we don't have to be. Right? We definitely don't have to be, y'all. We don't have to be screwed. We can definitely get on code with each other. Right? I believe we can do it. Matter of fact, I know we can do it. The thing is, are we going to actually do it, though? That I don't know. So hopefully we don't have to wait until it gets too late. And now that's when everybody want to start to get on code and stuff. You know? I think that would be very unfortunate, man. Because when it's too late, man. You feel me? It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. Right? So, tonight's show, I'm going to make this brief, right? And we definitely going to do a part 2 to this because, like I said, we got to go to the foundation. All right? It is being said on the internet that it's going to be a Harris Biden. It's going to be a Harris Obama card. For the Dems, right? And let me tell y'all something, man. This show that we having tonight is not to assassinate anybody's character. These two people have done a very good job of that themselves. So we don't do character assassination over here at A Real Talk. Simply because we don't have to. These people are public figures. Everything I speak on concerning these people is public information. And I want y'all to always keep that in mind when it comes to me and the content that I do over here for y'all. All right? You know, I just wanted to put that out. That's not like a disclaimer or nothing, though. I just wanted to let y'all know, like, when y'all tap in with me, you feel me? My name is Stacks with the Facts, man. You know, that's what they call me, man. You know? So when y'all tap in with me, we ain't going to be playing no games, man. Part 2 to this, I'm thinking of maybe doing Saturday early in the day because I don't have to work Saturday. And I ain't got no photography. I ain't got no photo shoots or no football games I got to film this weekend. So I'm going to have some free time, right? Spare time, I guess you could say. And we're going to get to the history and we're going to dig deep into the bloodline of Kamala Harris. Put in perspective on how she's where she is and also why she's where she is right now. Right? Very interesting. Very interesting. Kamala Harris, and let me tell y'all, her name isn't Kamala, it's Kamala. You pronounce her name Kamala, not Kamala, not Kamala, Kamala. She's not black. She's East Indian and Khazarian descent. Right? All right? She just looked like us. She ain't like us, though. Now, her and Michael Michelle allegedly, right? As far as getting the people to vote, specifically black women, you couldn't come up with a better ticket, right? But we got to use common sense here. Black women ain't got a large enough number to have an influence on votes like that, standing alone by themselves. against the overwhelmingly mass majority of white people, specifically white women, who are absolutely not going to vote for Kamala over Trump. Even the so-called democratic white folks, white chicks specifically, they are not going to vote for Kamala. But you just never know with these people, like I always say, you just never know what they got up their sleeve, y'all. You just never know what they got up their sleeves. You know? You just never know. Kamala Harris. She's terrible. She's a horrible debater. She's terribly learned, skilled study and research. You can tell she don't do her due diligence. She just spewing things that somebody told her to say, maybe trained her to say. And this lady is a criminal. Right? Now, the crazy part about this lady to me is how specifically black women just go so willy-nilly along with everything and advocating for her to be the president. She's not black. She just looks like us. She is not like us. You know who Kamala Harris reminds me of? Y'all want to know who Kamala Harris reminds me of? Y'all want to know who Kamala reminds me of? This is who Kamala Harris reminds me of. Kamala Harris reminds me of Hoda Kotb, who is of Jewish and Egyptian descent. She ain't black either, but she passes as one of us. Same way with Kamala. She is not one of us. She ain't like us. She don't like us. Want me to prove it? Yeah, man. All right. Right. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page. My Joe from Chicago, man. Mr. Oh, what happened, Joe? Don't Kamala remind y'all of Hoda? Don't she remind y'all of Hoda a little bit? Put a number 11 in the chat if you can see the similarities between Hoda Kotb and Kamala Harris. Quite uncanny, if I do say so myself. It's quite uncanny. It's quite uncanny. You know? Smash that like button, click the bell, subscribe to the page, y'all, man. Let's go, man. Let me play this video for y'all, man.
California is an early indication of what a Harris presidency could look like. Here's former President Trump on a press call last night.
She's destroyed San Francisco, which is a hell of a thing to do. If she becomes president, Kamala Harris will make the invasion exponentially worse. And just like she did with San Francisco, just like she did with the border, our whole country will be permanently destroyed.
Nicole Castronovo is a Los Angeles-based criminal defense lawyer, and she joins me now. Nicole, Kamala Harris bills herself on as tough on crime, but her record doesn't necessarily reflect that. What red flags stand out to you from Kamala Harris's record?
Some of the things that stand out to me from Kamala Harris's record, especially are Prop 47 in California, which sought to make misdemeanors into a number of felony crimes that existed in California. And in essence, it let out criminals from the jails, and it's caused a lot of problems here in California. Theft is up, all sorts of property crimes are up, and she was a big supporter of that. Additionally, Harris has made stances that are confusing. Sometimes she takes a stance that she's against the death penalty, and sometimes as Attorney General, she was then defending the death penalty. So I think the red flags here are making political statements and not necessarily following them out with her office.
Let's look at some of her record. Let's start as senator. Keep in mind, she supported the Minnesota Freedom Fund. That was a fund that raised $41 million and literally put criminals back out on the streets. Of course, she also did the Green New Deal, but that's really more along the lines of climate and border. I'm focused on the criminal stuff. And you have to keep in mind that her record really caused a lot of problems. So my question for you is, that sense, that far left streak that she has, basically far to the left of Bernie Sanders in many ways, was that also reflected in her time as AG and going even deeper to her time as DA in San Francisco?
I think for her time as AG, definitely Harris has marketed herself as a progressive prosecutor. I think as a DA, not so much. A lot of people found her to be moderate as a DA, and that's some of the arguments now against her. As a DA, she did prosecute, I believe it was something along the lines of 1,900 people for marijuana crimes, but yet that's something she's against now. So I think her stance changes depending on where the wind blows.
And I think that's a concern as you head into, especially the battleground states, where that record is really going to come into focus. She also seems to be repeating a particular line of attack against Donald Trump. Here she is at a rally yesterday in Milwaukee. Listen.
As Leah told you, before I was elected vice president, before I was elected United States Senator, I was elected Attorney General of the state of California, and I was a courtroom prosecutor before then. And in those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. And in this campaign, I promise you, I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week.
So this prosecutor versus convicted felon line is going to be their main line of attack. It's going to be their battle cry. But will that die the same death as basically the entire Trump lawfare experiment has so far?
Yeah, I don't know how far that's going to play. The prosecutor against the felon, okay, that's one note. And so what do you have after that? Really, we're going to be looking at records of what people have done in the White House. And Harris has the disadvantage of not having been the president before. So she can't really say what she would do in the White House. Her time as vice president has been less than stellar. And so, again, I don't know how far that battle cry goes. If we just have, all we have is felon versus prosecutor, okay, so you have that one-liner. But what do you have next? What do you have to offer as far as your record, as far as what you're going to show us, as far as your performance? What do we actually see from Harris?
Well, this is somebody who got a lot of titles as vice president and really didn't do any work to justify those titles. So we'll see. Who knows what will happen? Nicole Castronovo, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
Right. Does her husband know when he kisses her, he kissing every man in Democrat? You definitely know he knows. But you know, he playing the role. He's a very powerful and connected guy, might I add. We're going to get into that in a little bit here, right? Now, all of this stuff comes up with Kamala, right? We all know about her dealings in the juvenile court system, specifically, especially out there in California, when she was the DA up there in San Francisco and the Bay Area and all of that. We know about her sending innocent young brothers to the joint. You know what I'm saying? We know about how she was in the court system out there in Cali. You know, we all know about, and this is just crazy though, man. This is just wild right here. Like, just imagine a person who's a known whore, right?
I think it's probably the most unusual day we will have. And it was made that way simply because all the people, including the Bidens, stretched it out for 3 weeks. And every day there was a question, is something happening that makes sense on this issue? And then suddenly on Sunday, midday, it's all gone. Now you have to do a real story.
Is it historic?
It is historic. Of course it is. And everybody wants desperately to be a part of it. And it will be even more historic when it turns out to, in fact, been Biden offering the torch to his designated successor, Kamala Harris.
Should Kamala Harris be in charge of the ticket now?
Kamala Harris will be in charge of the ticket. She is probably the one person that can beat Trump. And the goal of Democrats, in spite of their antics in the last 3 weeks, have been to beat Trump.
Where do we go now? I mean, you know, Nancy Pelosi has come out and she, you know, has been kind of behind the scenes in the past couple of weeks, kind of making noise about it should be an open process. We've got weeks before the DNC. What do you see happening?
Well, I don't know when it's ever been a real opening process. I think the public knows that if there is a convention, the people who are in attendance at the convention in Chicago actually are the people who are doing and making the choices. And that's not an open process. It's obviously open if you can afford to attend in Chicago in mid-August. But if you are on the streets in San Francisco and you are a working person, a waiter or a dishwasher or a bus driver or even an Uber driver, it's not an open process because your voice is not being heard.
So what does Kamala have to do now from your viewpoint?
Kamala has to show to Democrats that she can beat Trump. The goal is to beat Trump. The goal is not to get the nomination or anything of that nature. The goal is to win the election for Democrats and keep Trump out. That's what she has to prove.
What's going on behind the scenes as far as her possible vice presidential?
Our vice presidential nominee could, in fact, be decisive. I am pushing like hell that the governor of Michigan gets the nod. So it'll be an all-women's ticket. There's never, ever been an all-women's ticket in America for the highest office. It would be the most fascinating challenge ever, particularly since the Republicans chose Trump as their person, and he is the most anti-female person holding public office or attempting to hold public office.
It is still a sexist world, though. What about Shapiro? What about Mark Kelly? What about someone along those lines?
I think you really do, if you want to win and you want to be Trump, you've got to become the lead in all the news stories from now till November 5th. Ordinary old white guys, good old white guys, young white guys will not get that kind of attention. 2 women will. And maids, I mean, you cannot believe how impressive that would be.
What about as far as the fact that Kamala came from California? A lot of people in this country don't like California. Put it down. What do you think? I mean, could that be a
Y'all
negative?
know who that is talking right there, right?
If you ever got around to that subject in your conversation, but the fact that there'll be 2 women, just maybe, you won't get around to that conversation. You won't link her to California, as you do in many cases. But when you already have the governor of California saying, I'm for you, when you have Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton saying, I'm for you, when you clearly have Joe Biden leading that charge, and when you're going to have women from all over this country, if not the world, commenting one way or another, no other combination of people could attract that much attention.
What as far as Kamala now on the campaign trail? You were mentioning that she really has to come and hit it hard, making sure that everyone knows where she stands, what she can do for the ticket.
She's got to be available, as she has been in the past. All of the campaigns in which she has been the candidate, she has always outworked her opponents, whether it was the district attorney of San Francisco, the attorney general of the state of California, or the U.S. Senate from California. All those things represent a testing ground. She has passed the test.
Anything else you think is important for everyone to watch now?
No, other than the fact, enjoy the ride.
Y'all know who that dude was, right? Huh? Y'all know who that guy was? That was none other than downtown Willie Brown. Out of that North Cac area, man. Up out of that yay area, you did. Right? Up there defending his bitch. You know? Right? You know? Downtown Willie Brown, Jack. What y'all know about downtown Willie Brown? You know? Yeah, man. Downtown Willie Brown up there taking up for one of his pieces. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga still look the same, man. He still look the same, man. You know? Smash that like button. Subscribe to the page.
I will not be shamed out of discussing this by people who say it's slut shaming or it's not relevant. It is relevant when a young candidate tries to sleep her way into politics and into power. And that is what it appears Kamala Harris did when she was a young political aspirant in San Francisco, when she had an affair with a man 30 years older than she was. She was 29 to 30 and he was 60, Willie Brown, who was like the godfather of San Francisco politics and very well known. And sure enough, that relationship paid dividends for her in more ways than one.
That's right, Megan. As you noted yesterday, it's completely fair game to talk about Willie Brown. It's how Kamala Harris went from a relatively unknown Alameda County prosecutor to the forefront of San Francisco social life and politics. Willie Brown was the most powerful politician in California when Kamala Harris started dating him. And he also gave her a number of positions. We're talking about $400,000 back in the 1990s. That's almost $800,000 in today's money. He appointed her to those positions that paid her lucratively. He gave her the keys to a BMW, and he went around the
house. That's what
most power in California. Put Kamala Harris on his arm, opening up the doors to her professional and political future.
So it was back when, again, she was 30 years old. He was at the time Democratic Speaker of the California State Assembly, quoting here from a Washington Examiner piece, which is very good. The position that he gave her on the California Medical Assistance Commission in 1994 paid at that time over $70,000 a year, which is about $120,000 in current money. And she served on the board until 1998, so about 4 years. That medical commission met twice a month. So for 2 meetings a month, she was getting the equivalent of $120,000. And you know why Democrats in San Francisco were mad about it? It wasn't because she wasn't qualified, which she wasn't. It was because those positions are supposed to be saved for only the most prized Democrats who Willie Brown really owed favors to, who did really, amazing things to keep Willie Brown in power. But instead, he gave one to his lover. He was, by the way, still married, though he was reportedly estranged from his wife for a long time. This was technically an extramarital relationship. And they were mad that he gave one of his choice grifting positions not to somebody who'd done a lot for Democratic politicians, but to Kamala Harris. And not just that, there was another one. He gave her a second position as well, which was basically the same kind of deal where he just gave her an appointment. She reeked in tons of money and boom, Bob's your uncle. She was off to the races in Dem politics. And then Willie Brown is on record as saying, I also then helped her with her next big position, which was becoming San Francisco DA.
Right. When she ran for district attorney, they had broken up. Willie Brown, as soon as he ran and won the San Francisco mayor election, he broke up with Kamala. And then, Kamala was there for the victory party. But by the time the inauguration hit, his estranged wife reappeared to be holding the Bible while he took the oath of office. And Kamala was kind of pushed aside. But Willie Brown didn't forget her. When Kamala decided to run for district attorney of San Francisco, he was there quietly nudging all of his wealthy donors and powerful connections to help her out. Him and Terrence Holland, the existing district attorney, were not friends anymore. They had kind of had an ugly clash. And Kamala Harris likewise tried to overthrow Holland's second in command, but failed miserably. And so she ended up leaving the office to kind of plot her revenge. So Willie Brown was definitely there behind the scenes, but Kamala Harris did as much as she could before the election to distance herself from Willie Brown. At one point, doing a very long interview with San Francisco magazine, throwing him under the bus entirely, saying, Willie Brown's career is over. He's done. Hello. My turn is here. It's Kamala Harris. Sounds really familiar, Megan, compared to what just happened last weekend.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole Democratic Party is going to be stepping all over Joe Biden momentarily. He's going to get his weekend in the sun about what a lion he is. And then as soon as they realize that they can blame everything on him and take it off of Kamala, that's what they're going to do. Every inflation number you've seen, it's all his fault. She didn't touch it. She was just a lowly vice president. What was she supposed to do? But talk to me a little bit about her background, because if she rose in San Francisco and then California, right, as the attorney general, and then became a U.S. senator from California, all she's had to do is compete, for the most part, I know there's some exceptions, against other liberals, right? Like, has she ever had to compete against a bull, like Donald Trump, like the silverback gorilla, like Donald Trump, Republican versus Dem? It's on. I realized that she ran as the vice president, but she wasn't the chief. That was really Joe Biden's fight.
Well, the interesting race is when she ran against Steve Cooley for the attorney general position in 2010. Cooley was a relatively sensible law and order Republican from Los Angeles, and really the last meaningful Republican in California politics. And even it was a big year for Democrats. They won by double digits for California Democrats. But Kamala Harris really struggled against Steve Cooley and barely edged out a victory. It looked like the night of the election that she had lost. And lo and behold, weeks later, they did recounts and recounted all the rest of the votes, and she just barely squeaked off a victory. It was really close. And you can definitely look at that campaign and see that, maybe she will be competitive in this race against Donald Trump as well. But it's hard to see that happening.
Some are now trying to excuse her awkwardness, repeated and everywhere, as she lost her footing as vice president and didn't have the confidence required to really be herself, which I guess is this secret version of charming. Is there anything in her past that would shed light on what's true about her? Has she always been awkward like this, with the weird laughing and the inappropriate jokes and every time the failed attempts at profundity?
Yeah, a lot of it's the product of being a California politician, right? When you're a California Democrat, all you have to do is impress the donors, impress the political power brokers, and kind of show up and demand a seat at the table. Willie Brown taught her how to do that. So she did have some level of that with the top donors, but she never really connected with the California people. But as we've shown earlier, you don't necessarily need to convince voters. You just need to convince the Democratic Party, and everything will fall in line for you pretty well. So
Boy,
what's
that pattern repeated itself.
Her,
Sorry, keep going, Charlie.
Yeah, and so the same thing happened when she ran for Senate. She's a very good candidate. She's very disciplined. She loves the sort of the knife fighting and the brawling. She's on the record saying she loves California politics because it's a real fight. So she is a sort of a ruthless politician, a ruthless campaigner. But after after taking office, there's definitely a drop down. Once you actually have to do the job, she never seemed to take it seriously and spent more time planning for her next job. That's kind of what we saw in the first 3 years of her vice presidency. She really was risk averse, didn't seem to be interested in the job she had, but more interested in protecting her own political brand for the future. And I think when a politician hits that stage, the early stage of actually having to do the job, I think that's when they tend to lose their footing and stumble. And I think that's what Kamala Harris ended up looking like. And that's why her staff kind of abandoned her, because she wasn't serious about the office she was holding. And she was more interested in preparing herself to run for president.
Yeah, the reports were that she would fail to read the briefing materials that she was given by the staff, and then she would lash out at the staff for her not knowing information. And meanwhile, she just refused to do her homework. This wasn't in right.
Yeah, man. You dig? Highly corrupt. And you gotta think to yourself, man, her throat game and her box game must have been on point to make a brother weak like that, man. Because that's just crazy. He put her in position to win. You did? You understand what I'm saying, y'all? You know what I'm talking about? Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page. But enough of all of that. Let's get to the real about this chick, right? Now, let me go back to this. All right. Now, as far as Michelle Obama goes, man, right? Michelle, allegedly. right? Did y'all know? No knees at all. Suck the soul up out his old ass. You hear me? Right? I don't think to once again run for president. I don't know if it's not showing this. It's crazy. I don't know what's going on.
I've just had a moment to go back over the statement from Barack and Michelle Obama, and they are supportive of President Joe Biden's decision not to seek re-election, and they praise his outstanding track record as president. And yet a paragraph sort of buried in this long statement, the Obamas say, "We will be navigating uncharted waters in the days ahead. But I have extraordinary confidence that the leaders of our party will be able to create a process from which an outstanding nominee emerges." Why aren't the Obamas backing Vice President Kamala Harris?
That's a good question. Well, that's a good question.
There is some tension between the Obama and Biden camp right now. And as Senator Welch just told you here on CBS, there is a bit of hesitation among some Democrats to get ahead what they believe will be a truncated process to formally make Vice President Harris the nominee. As we detailed earlier in our conversation, Vice President Harris has known President Obama since he was a state senator going to San Francisco for fundraisers. She helped him in Iowa in 2008 when he ran for president. There is a relationship there. And I would be surprised that if in the coming days, President Obama did not formally get behind Vice President Harris, but there is a sense among some people close to President Obama and President Biden that they can't be rushing out statements because of the sensitivity Biden has about how this has played out. President Biden, especially his closest advisors and family members, are unhappy that they feel he was put in a corner to make this decision. Often they feel his hand was forced by those close to President Obama. And for President Obama to let President Biden have his moment with this decision. Think about this. President Obama knows that President Biden is now in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, making the biggest decision of his career with a statement because he's coughing as he looks at the shore with his family because he's recovering from COVID. To then start making this about Vice President Harris in the annals of presidential history would be perhaps a step too far because of this sensitivity. In the wake of that debate, which so many Democrats say was disastrous, I have been told that President Obama and President Biden have only spoken once, maybe once more, but likely only once, that there's a real belief that in the Biden camp that Obama didn't play this as they would have had hoped. They want him to be on the trail to help the Democrats. But I'm not surprised that President Obama is just trying to leave it be with President Biden, knowing he's recovering from COVID, coughing as he makes this decision.
It's still notable, though.
Oh, sure.
And let me bring in John Dickerson, because I'm looking at the contrast in statements between the Clintons, who said there is no greater threat than Donald Trump.
Allegedly
and
not
so they
endorsing
wholeheartedly
Kamala.
have put their support behind the Vice President, Kamala Harris. The Obamas are saying that they have confidence that the leaders of our party will create a process from which an outstanding nominee emerges. Is there time for the Democratic Party to go through a process?
You know, there is time, but every little detail of a process that you create, even if it's a truncated one or a mini primary or whatever, every little detail becomes something to fight over. So there is an advantage to a process in the sense that you get the rank and file to feel like they weren't just being forced into a decision. There are some people who wanted Joe Biden to stay. So they already feel like the kind of a cabal plus the media has forced a good man out of a job that they think he should be reelected to. And so what do you do with the people with those bruised feelings? Forcing them into a new nominee right away might not soothe those feelings. I think Bob is exactly right in the sense of you've got to also create the conditions for the party and everyone to celebrate Trump as here's somebody giving up power. Okay, somebody who their whole career was counted out. So it's giving up power and moving against personal instinct, which is I'm going to show them when they count me out, and it's worked for him. And that's quite a contrast to Donald Trump, who was so desirous to hang on to power that, according to the leaders in his own party, he inspired an attack on the Capitol. So to the extent that you celebrate this decision by Joe Biden in this period of time and don't immediately get onto Harris, it actually works to the Democratic Party's benefit.
You know? So the Obamas aren't endorsing Kamala. You can listen to all of that he just said and go along with that, but, you know, I think the reason why the Obamas are not endorsing Kamala is because they know how tainted her past is. And I ain't just talking about the stuff with old Willie Brown. Yeah, you hardly ever see them together. You hardly ever see Joe Biden and Kamala Harris together. Hardly ever. Right? But let me tell y'all something about Kamala Harris. What she's involved in. What she's a part of. Who she's connected to. This thing right here, whenever somebody talks about Kamala Harris, people will bring up the 94 crime bill and her part in that. People will bring up her wrongful incarceration of literally thousands of young black men across the entire state of California when she was the Attorney General. And also when she was the county prosecutor, district attorney in San Francisco. She's responsible for the incarceration of a lot of innocent people who came to find out to be innocent. Lots. And this is how she made it through without being ousted or fired. It's because she had connections with Willie Brown, who was the most powerful politician in the entire seaboard, Western seaboard. So he had that pull. Of course, Willie Brown is Boule. I think he's Alpha Phi Alpha, if I'm not mistaken. This could be because every time they talk about all the stuff with the courts, all the stuff with Willie Brown, all the innocent young black brothers she sent to prison, destroyed their lives. She never went to the border. You never see her and Biden together. She don't be making no sense when she talk. She sounds like a goddamn airhead who just has like a microchip in her brain that's telling her to say stuff to say it when she says it. It's like it's not the original thought in her face. Her whole face is blank. But this right here never comes up publicly when we're talking about scrutinizing Kamala Harris. Right? Now, put a number 11 in the chat. If you recall, when I always bring up and say something about Diablo Canyon Nuclear Facility. Put the number 11 in the chat if you recall me speaking on that. Right? Now, this is Diablo Canyon, Devil's Canyon. And if I'm not mistaken, I wish my man DeForm Pretty Boy is here because he could tell me, or maybe even Red could tell me. Shout out to my brother Red. Shout out to my brother DeForm Pretty Boy. Shout out to my brother Mr. O, Joe. You did. If I'm not mistaken, this nuclear facility is located in San Luis Obispo in Southern California. It sits between 3 fault lines. And it should have been decommissioned years and years ago due to the unstable geological, tectonic plate movements going on. But oddly enough, it's still here and open today. Pacific Gas and Electric owns nuclear or owns Diablo Canyon or owned it. Pacific Gas and Electric, or PG&E, the equivalent to AEP out in this region, owns Diablo Canyon. Right? Now, back in the day, right? Get your notebooks ready, get your pens out, get your pieces of paper out, because you're going to want to write some of this stuff down. Right? You already should have wrote down Diablo Canyon Nuclear Facility in San Luis Obispo, California. Old nuclear facility. Was built, I think, back in the 50s or the 60s. But it sits between 2 or 3 fault lines, the San Andreas fault line being one of them. This is absolutely the worst place you could have ever thought of building a nuclear facility. But since hydroelectricity was such a thing in the 70s and the 80s, late 60s and 70s and 80s, right, to power these nuclear power plants that had electrical equipment that they used to produce nuclear energy. Right? San Luis Obispo. Diablo Canyon sits in between, I say, 2 to 3 fault lines, which means it is terribly geographically unstable. A nuclear facility of this magnitude and size should never have been built there. Diablo Canyon Nuclear Facility, or Devil's Canyon, Devil's Cave Nuclear Facility in San Luis Obispo, California, southern region, after being inspected by this guy. It was deemed to have failed the inspections. Right? This is crazy, y'all, man. This is Kamala Harris is involved in all of this. This is the most heinous, corrupt thing I think that she's involved with. Outside of everything else, because this right here, when this situation goes the way it's planned to go, a lot of people are going to suffer in California. It is not going to be safe to live in the state of California, let alone the West Coast. Trust me when I tell y'all. So we got Diablo Canyon or Devon Kettle Nuclear Facility in San Luis Obispo, California, southern part of California, right? It's crazy, man, right? You know, Devil's Canyon Nuclear Facility. And it's crazy how this never comes up when asked about, or, you know, when we hear people talking about this lady, we don't never hear anybody talk about this. Diablo Canyon Nuclear Facility is a way out of date nuclear facility. It's bound for meltdown any given day, right? It was created, or should I say, it was made to regulate the flow of the man-made lakes that are all over our country and create reservoirs behind them, man. It's crazy, man. You know, and Kamala Harris, at the time of this case, was the state attorney general, right? Do some dot connecting for y'all real quick, right? Kamala Harris was the attorney general at this point in time when this situation got serious. A similar situation happened out here in my state of Ohio about a good 2-3 years ago, right? I briefly spoke on the other night, but I'm about to expound on it a little more here. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share the social engineering. Diablo Canyon Nuclear Facility should have been shut down back in 1987. That's when it should have been shut down, right? And this guy right here, a guy with some integrity, hold on, let me get this guy's name for y'all real quick. Right, this guy right here. This is my homie right here. He's a gangster, right? Right. So the dude on the screen, he's a guy named Michael Peck. Let me sit up here and minimize the screen so y'all can see who he is, right? Well, no, ain't no. So anyway, this is him though, y'all. All right. This is the homie Michael Peck. Michael Peck was the chief inspector for an organization called the NRC, the Nuclear Research Commission, right? The Nuclear Research Commission was sanctioned, or is sanctioned to this day, by the state of California to be the governing body to determine the capabilities at nuclear facilities, how much waste, what type of waste are these nuclear facilities making as a result of the processes they use to take care of whatever business they got going on. Michael Peck was the chief inspector, safety inspector at the NRC, right? And being the head of that is his duty to go to each facility and inspect it to see or make sure that it's up to par to handle the type of labor is about to be bestowed with, especially when it comes to processes of nuclear energy. right? My brother Michael Peck, man. He wasn't going. So Michael Peck, he inspected Diablo Canyon. It failed horribly, terribly. And when he went to go turn the results in to his higher ups, guess what happened? All right. I'm about to get to that. So he inspects Diablo Canyon. These are pictures of him inspecting Diablo Canyon. That's him. He inspects Diablo Canyon and he deems Diablo Canyon to be decommissioned. The nuclear reactors are just out of date, leaking dirty electricity everywhere, massive amounts of waste. I'm talking about old, rusted out, dilapidated piping and sprinkler systems. I mean, you name it, this facility is terrible. Not to mention the upkeep of the actual reactors, the nuclear reactors, is becoming quite the challenge. So needless to say, Diablo Canyon is terrible. It's holding on by the hair of his chinny chin. And I'm telling you right now, if Diablo Canyon nuclear facility was to, I don't even like thinking about that. I don't even like thinking what could possibly potentially happen on the West Coast, specifically California, Southern California, parts of Northern Mexico as well. Shout out to the homie Michael Peck. He was the chief inspector at the NRC, the Nuclear Research Commission or Center Commission of California, right? He inspected Diablo Canyon, deemed it to be decommissioned due to the horrible physical conditions of the structure itself, not to mention the reactors. To my knowledge, Diablo Canyon is still open to this day, and it should have been decommissioned back in 1987. Michael Peck didn't inspect it until early 2000, late 90s. Uncle Rob, Diablo Canyon, nuclear facility. Michael Peck was the chief inspector of the NRC, who deemed Diablo Canyon to be decommissioned. This place should be shut down. It's not safe. Not to mention Diablo Canyon. Let me pull it up for y'all real quick. We're going to get back to my brother Mike Peck because he's a very intricate part to this whole situation for real. This is crazy, y'all, man. Diablo Canyon, right? Diablo Canyon, like I say, I want to say it's in the city of, it's in the city of San Luis Obispo. I think that's what the city is called. See, this was 2014. An ex-NRC inspector, California's Diablo Canyon nuclear plant needs to be shut down. Oh, my fault. It's called the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. All right. A confidential filing with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, NRC, by former Diablo Canyon nuclear plant on-site inspector Michael Peck recommends shutting down the California plant until its 2 reactors are shown to be capable of withstanding the earthquake forces that were not anticipated when the facility was built, according to the Associated Press. If you think for 3 seconds that the people who built this facility wasn't aware of the seismic activity going on over here. That's crazy. That's crazy. Right? So we got Diablo Canyon. Michael Peck, his name is everywhere in this. Right? Discovery of the shore. That's the shoreline fault. It's the shoreline fault and the San Andreas fault. Right? Man, this is spooky for real, man. No doubt, take your time, Solo, though. I'm about to drop this link in a second. As soon as I break this down to y'all. Diablo Canyon should have been shut down a long time ago, says Michael Peck. Right? But nothing happened as a result of this. So Kamala Harris, who at this point in time is the state attorney general presiding over this case, you know, Kamala Harris was the district attorney presiding over this case. Now, here in comes this guy. Here comes this guy who's hella old now. Right? In comes this guy, Michael Peavy. Right? In comes this guy, Michael Peavy. Michael Peavy was the head, pause. He was basically, like you could say, the president of the California's Public Utility Commission. Equivalent to, in my state of Ohio, we have PUCO, which is the Public Utility Commissions of Ohio. It's called PUCO. You get in contact with PUCO when you fucked up and you need to get on your feet and you need to keep your electric on and you need a nice little discounted price to be able to get right. You know what I'm talking about? The California equivalent would be the CPUC, the California Public Utilities Commission. We just call it PUCO out here because it's just for short, right? But it's basically the same situation. Michael Peavy was the head of, right, the what I'll just say, he was the head of the CPUC. And as the head of the CPUC, he worked in tandem with the people who ran Diablo Canyon. As a matter of fact, he was in brokerage to a brokerage deal involved with a certain company purchasing Diablo Canyon nuclear facility. It is currently owned by Pacific Gas and Electric. It is a liability to them at this point. They're not making any money from it. Not enough to keep it open, not enough to renovate the building. I want y'all to understand what I'm saying right now. Michael Peavy, the head of the CPUC, worked in tandem, right, with the NRC, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. And through his liaisons and connections over there, let's just say he can make some things happen. Right? So Michael Peck, who is his buddy? Huh? Who is Michael Peck's buddy? Or should I say Michael Peavy? None other than don't know why the internet acting all crazy over here, man. I don't know what's going on with the Googler. The connection is acting slow. All right. All right. We got Kamala Harris and we got Michael Peck. Right? So we got Kamala Harris and Michael Peck. Kamala Harris and Michael Peck are very familiar with each other by way of Willie Brown. See how Willie Brown connected her and plugged her to all these very important and powerful people who are connected and work in very high offices in these so-called governmental agencies. Right? So as Attorney General, when this case was brought up and made public and brought to the California State Attorney's Office, all that evidence that Michael Peavy, or should I say that Michael Peck, who was the head inspector of the NRC, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the former pretty boy was good, right? Michael Peck was the head of the CPUC. They're connected to the NRC, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, which Michael Peck was he was the chief inspector, safety inspector. He went to Diablo Canyon and he said it needs to be shut down. He said it should have been shut down 15, damn near 20 years ago. Right? So when this case was brought to the state's attorney office, guess what Kamala Harris did? Seeing as how she was cool with her homeboy Michael Peavy through her connections with Willie Brown. So she glad-handed him, pause, right? And then prosecuted him. You want to know why? Because it's a company that both of these people have in common that connect them to each other. Now, remember when I told you, might know something about this, the former pretty boy. Remember when Pacific Gas and Electric went bankrupt? I wonder how many of y'all Californians know that PG&E went bankrupt. And in order to save themselves from complete annihilation as an entity, they start putting a lot of their old facilities up for sale, specifically nuclear facilities. Diablo Canyon's one of them. Right? So Michael Peavy, being the head of the California Public Utilities Commission, with his connections, or should I say, with his connections up there at the NRC, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, he ain't have none, right? I talk to a lot of people from California who don't know about Diablo Canyon and all this stuff. I be like, man, y'all don't know about this? And I don't ever hear anybody ever talk about this publicly when they speak about her so-called corrupt activity. They talk about all the other bullshit. They don't talk about this, though. This is devastating for the entire Western Seaboard. So Michael Peavy had to appear in court. Not 23%. Yeah, it's been happening all over the country. The Rothschild family owns all the energy companies, y'all. If you go look up our energy company out this way, which is AEP, American Electric and Power, what you're going to see is that they're owned by Rothschild, a guy who's literally named Rothschild, right? That's crazy. Pacific, what's it called? It used to be called Southern Edison or something like that, right? So Pacific Gas and Electric owns Diablo Canyon. So in order for them to get out of this bankruptcy that they filed for, they was offering a lot of old facilities to private interests. So all that evidence that Michael Peck got, let me pull my brother back up on the screen for y'all. You gotta get exact with it, man. So they know who you talking about. Right, my guy right here, a true gangster, man. True gangster, man. Right? Michael Peck was the head of the inspection squad down at the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. He inspected Diablo Canyon and said it should have been shut down there 20 years ago. All of the evidence that he gathered after his inspection, all his seismograph testing of the tectonic plate structure and all of that stuff, tsunami threats, and man, listen, he did some thorough research. They took all of that evidence that he had. Kamala Harris was the attorney general presiding over the case at the time. So what did y'all think she did? And like I said, her and Michael Peavy had common interests, right? There's a company that I spoke on briefly, which y'all know I have, but there's a company mainly operated in California, right? There's a company called Solarin. Right? Look at the sun symbolism. Look at the sun symbolism. Right? There's a company called Solarin, which is a space-based energy company. Solarin has created technology that can harness the electrical power generated and activated in outer space. And they harness this energy, this electrical energy, this plasmic energy. They harness it through their technology that they have created, and they beam it through their own satellites, and then beam it back down here to us, right? Very volatile stuff. Very, very, very disturbing to the human body. This is where and why we have 5G, 6G, and 7G telecommunication capabilities now, because of companies like Solarin, right? Yeah. Michael Peavy, after all of this happened, Kamala Harris basically withheld the evidence that would have deemed Diablo Canyon to be decommissioned. But everybody stood the game because PG&E, in order to get out of the bankruptcy, they put Diablo Canyon up for sale. Now, guess who was about to buy it? Right? Now, guess who now sits on the chairboard of Solarin? Michael Peavy. Kamala Harris is vice president running for president. Michael Peck, if I'm not mistaken, rest in the essence, he passed away. Yes, that's exactly what they do at Solarian. Any company you see with this sun symbolism right here, demonic. The synagogue of Satan. So Ferris, what do you listen? I want y'all to understand that if a company like Solarian owns Diablo Canyon, they're going to use Diablo Canyon as a weapon, allegedly. It's crazy, man. And Kamala Harris was the attorney general of California who presided over this case, and she withheld all of that evidence. She soon became senator after that. Yeah, the head office is in I can't remember what city they're in, man. It sounds good on the surface, but when you realize how they are harnessing electricity out of space, you can tell that they set up a system that is redirect. I don't even want to get into that, y'all. Right? Man, this is right. So now Kamala Harris is running for president. The entire Western seaboard, y'all, listen to me. If Diablo Canyon nuclear facility was to melt down, do y'all understand the ramifications of that? Do y'all understand in California, specifically southern to central California, do y'all understand how devastating that would be in that region of the country, the world, for my Lord. It just boggles my mind when I think about it. Right? I'm going to be honest with y'all. It really does, man. It really does, y'all, for real, man. You know, I ain't really too much scared of a lot of stuff, man. But this situation right here with this host, this ain't even a scandal. This is outright criminal activity. Do y'all understand the effects and the ramifications if Diablo Canyon melts down? Just sitting there, Uncle Rob. Just sitting there. Now think about what happened in Paradise a few years ago. You thought that was bad? If Diablo Canyon was to melt down, it sits between two fault lines, the Shoreline fault line and the San Andreas fault line. I want to say it's the third one, man. Now think about the region of the state of California that Diablo Canyon is located at. That is the highest concentration of us. Not making it about race. I'm just saying it's just crazy that we having a It'd be like I said, when you had a sight to see, you could put all this stuff together. Okay, so they created technology, software and hardware, working together, powered by what? Unintelligent artificial intelligence. And it adapts to a zero gravity environment in order to harness the plasmic energy in outer space, therefore converting it into electricity, which they beamed out through these satellites. And now we got 5G, 6G, 7G, and who else knows what else, wireless digital communication capabilities. What they're doing with companies like Solarian is they're harnessing, they're hacking into the energy being emitted by the sun and trying to hack into this signal and give it a pirate signal. Yup, San Luis Obispo. Yup, I knew it. Right? and they beam this very volatile, highly toxic, exceeds the 60 gigahertz range, which starts to have effect on our actual physiology and biology, beams it back down here at the highest frequency rates. I'm talking about wavelength patterns off the charts, which means it don't travel far, but it is very powerful. This is why when you see the service repair guys suiting up in hazmat suits when they do troubleshooting and repair on these mast towers that just spread throughout the country like matchsticks sticking up everywhere. So, you know, I tell y'all what I tell y'all because I love y'all, man. I'm going to drop the link. I'm going to drop the link. These people are very corrupt. Kamala Harris is nothing short of being super corrupt, right? This is going to be devastating for the eastern, or should I say the western seaboard specifically of our country. The entire western seaboard and Hawaii and Guam and all that. Listen, remember back in the day when they used to tell us in school that one of these days the state of California is going to break off into the ocean? Now, who remembers that? Who remembers that? Right? It would seem like they done created the technology to actually make it happen. And not to mention, they have literally a nuclear time bomb, a nuclear landmine sitting in between two fault lines. What a coincidence. Michael Peck discovered all of the discrepancies, and I'm pretty sure much more involving Diablo Canyon. He went public with it. It was a case that was presided over by Kamala Harris when she was the Attorney General, state's Attorney General for the entire state of California. Right? I'm about to bring you up the phone, pretty boy. When this evidence was presented to the state attorney office, being the presiding Attorney General, Kamala Harris withheld this information, therefore allowing Diablo Canyon to remain open to this very day. As we speak, Diablo Canyon is operating. I don't know about operating, but it's still there. It's not shut down. I'm pretty sure it's still operating, right? Which sits between two fault lines. This is Kamala Harris who presided over this case and withheld the evidence. Nuclear facility is still open, just as dilapidated as it's ever been. Michael Peck, or should I say Michael Peavy, sits on the chairboard of Solarian now. He sits on the chairboard of Solarian now. You know, these people are criminals, man. Right? This is why I say I ain't voting for neither one. I ain't voting for nobody. You feel me? Michael Peavy now sits on the chairboard of Solarian. Right? Let me get this for y'all real quick, man. Right? Smash that like button, click the bell, subscribe to the page. You did? This is just over a year ago, y'all, when this happened. This is what I be telling y'all, man. This is what I be trying to tell you. These people are corrupt. Michael Peavy was just appointed to the board of directors of Solarian. Like I said, Kamala Harris is literally about to be running for president. She's currently the vice president. This is crazy. So this never gets brought up when they start blazing Kamala in public about her past political career and sucking her way to the top, which is irrelevant for, if you ask me, when it comes to stuff like this. I would rather know that this goes on in the behind closed door. So she basically withheld the evidence that would have that place closed down, or something that could have had time to, get rid of some toxic chemicals and all of that stuff. Toxic. Crazy, y'all. Crazy stuff, man. The former pretty boy, what's good, man?
What's good with it?
Man, you see
Can you
it,
hear
man.
me?
You already know what it is, man. I'm sitting here chopping up game with y'all, man. Sitting up here letting y'all know, for those who don't know, how corrupt this woman actually is. And I'm telling you right now,
that's what.
Boy, man, I'm telling you right now, man, this situation with Diablo Canyon is very serious, man. It is very serious. I want y'all to understand that if Diablo Canyon melts down, it is the end of the Western Seaboard as we know it eventually. Not a fast, slow process either.
Was destined to happen.
You said what now?
That shit's destined to happen anyways.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You can't stop the rain. And I just think that's crazy. So as a guy being from California, man, I'm pretty sure you are very experienced with how corrupt this woman actually is. And it's not about,
man,
let me just be clear real quick. I'm going to pass it. I'm going to say what I'm going to pass it. Don't get it twisted, man. Just because I'm blazing and lambasting Kamala Harris, that doesn't mean I support Trump, because I absolutely don't. I'm not voting for neither one of these motherfuckers, man. If I got to pick between these two people, I ain't voting. I'll let y'all have that. It's the illusion of choice.
Trump is part of, when they deregulated the energy out here, he was part of that too. That whole deregulation of the energy bought into major stock. He bought into major stocks in that shit. A lot of these little energy companies that's in California, it's all PG&E, but there's a lot of little subsidiaries throughout California. You know what I'm saying? And people like Trump, before he was president, was like straight up promoting that shit. That and the telecommunications companies.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the whole thing is like, the thing about California, like a lot of people don't realize, if you look at an ancient map of California, half of this is landfill.
Yeah.
Half of this is over half of this is like landfill. You know where so from Bakersfield to Sacramento, which is the central San Joaquin Valley, that's where like 65% of the produce that's produced in America comes from that place.
Yes, it does.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, that all you
call it.
Yeah, they feed the fucking country. They most of it. I mean, as far as produce, fruit, agriculture, comes from there. That area, the reason why the soil is so fertile, you know what I'm saying, and they're able to grow so much there. That used to be all water. Once upon a time, if you look like pull up an ancient map of California, and you'll see it. It's like that all used to be water. We're talking about from Bakersfield to Sacramento. We're talking about a good, 700 miles, 800 miles in length. You know what I'm saying? And then you got width too. So you're probably talking about maybe 400 or 500 miles in length. I mean in width of just, and that just all used to be all water. So, and even like here in the Bay Area, all this is landfill. The only part of California that was actually really a full landmass is you're talking about from LA all the way up to San Luis Obispo. San Luis Obispo was part of the original California map. But we're talking about ancient times. We're talking about thousands of years ago. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, exactly. So all of that just drowned up, and then like when you're in the Central Valley, when you're in those places, Stockton, Fresno, Bakersfield, Modesto, Madera, Sacramento, all that is below sea level. You see what I'm saying? That's all below the actual sea level. When you get to LA, LA, San Francisco, that's the part that's above. That's the first point of above sea level. The rest of it's mountains. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why when we have torrential rains here, it's like it's landslides everywhere, mudslides everywhere, because it's all landfill. It's all just dump garbage and just shit that they just put garbage on top of garbage on top of garbage. And like some of these cities, especially like San Francisco, it was a dump. Like literally the dump where they take you before, they didn't have like the people that come around and pick up your trash and stuff like that. They didn't have that before. It's like what they used to have is like you have to take your trash to the dump to dump your trash. Once upon a time, and that we're talking about like the early 80s, late 70s. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have like the trash people come around and pick up your trash. Your trash, you'd have to take your shit to the dump.
Yeah, man.
So all that trash and garbage, they grind it down, recycled it, put it in the earth, and built shit on top of it. And so like the Diablo Canyon, if something treacherous happens, it's gonna affect the whole state. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about, we're talking about half of the state, from all the west part of the West Coast, like LA, all the way up to Carson City. We're talking about that far north, like almost the end or near Oregon. All that's going to be gone.
Right.
And the other half, like the mountain part, you're looking at, Yosemite, the Sierras and stuff like that. That'll be the only shit that's left. You know what I mean?
And saying the former pretty boy, it's the reason why I talk about this, like I say, because when discussed publicly and they bring up her stuff, no one ever mentions this. And I know why. I know exactly why they don't mention it. But see, I'm going to mention it because I understand the impact that such a situation is going to have in future generations, man. Not only that, Kamala Harris, like I said, she played a key factor, a key role. You hear me? And that's what they use these boulets for, to do stuff just like that. So in the event that listen here, the former pretty boy, peep the play now. They let her get up in there. Right?
They did a whole segment on her a few years ago about this situation with Diablo Canyon. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But just like you said, like a lot of people, they don't know about it because they don't pay attention. That's the thing. Is like they don't pay attention. Like the public broadcasting system, the PBS station here, they always exposing like these politicians. They always talking. They doing segments because it's all funded by the people. It's like that public broadcasting is funded by the people. The people pay for it. They do donation drives and stuff like that. But to broadcast, you know what I'm saying? But they're responsible for, I don't know if you heard of shows called like Frontline and stuff like that. They were the first kind of independent kind of media, independent media. Like they were probably like the truest realist at one point, you know what I'm saying? Now they've probably been corrupted a little bit, but they do those big segments on people like her, and they exposed her for her corruption in regards to that a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is about us, like we have really short attention spans. That's the thing about, you know what I'm saying? We have Yall, they did a segment, a few years back, people forgot about it. And here we go. These people are sitting there cheering for her. And it's like they forgot how corrupt she is. You know what I mean? There is, it's ridiculous. It's just like, man, that's why when I hear people like, telling me, oh, Kamala this, Kamala that, I'm just like, dude, I was like, no. And it's so crazy when I see these black men caping for her, and it's like, I know like for a fact that like black men in California hate this broad. You know what I'm saying? But they're trying to act like black men like her because they're not showing the black men in California, because everybody that's a black man of some sort has either been directly affected by her policies from back in the day, or they've been or they know somebody that has been. You know what I'm saying? That's how deep this broad is really, how much drama she's caused, man. It's like, that's why I was like, you're gonna make this broad president? You guys are asking for it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all you got to do is do simple. Just look at her history.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just look at her history. But nobody looks at her history. I seen this nigga on what do you call it? He was on Roland Martin? He was crying and shit. I was like, what's with all these dudes crying? Oh my God, come on, she does so much. Yeah, and they always seem to be. They're not from here. You see what I'm saying? The ones that I see doing all, they're from someplace. They're from another state. I was like, no, look at this bitch. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it's like, she might have did something good for you, but for whatever one good person that she did good for, there's thousands that she did bad for. You see what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. Really needs to stop. It really needs to stop. It's like all this cheering and patting on the back and giving her money. Oh, it's like, man, you guys got real problems. That's why it really hurt my soul when I saw that. You know what I'm saying? They did that big rally for I think they did it already, or they're gonna do it. It's like, I think it's Fat Joe. We already knew he was going to support her. You know what I'm saying? Because he's part of that hip hop, that government hip hop thing. You know what I'm saying? And then when E40 stepped into that, and I was just like, oh man, I'm done. Because E40 is like he's my brother's wife's first cousin. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, tell your fat ass cousin, like, what's wrong with him? Yeah, man. And I mean, you guys are out. If anybody's out there supporting Kamala Harris or thinking about it, man, just do the research, do your history on her. You know what I'm saying? Really dig into her past. You know what I'm saying? You'll find out. Even her daddy. Her daddy, he's a descendant of a plantation owner who was an anti-abolitionist in Jamaica. And he went on in 2018, he did an interview on Jamaican television, you know what I'm saying, in Jamaican media, telling about his story. And then all these people run around and saying, oh, he was involved in the civil rights movement. No, he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It's like he was a student at Berkeley, you know what I'm saying? And he was in the African American Association, which was not a civil rights movement group. It was just black students that came together, and you know what I'm saying? Like the Black Student Union. That's basically what it is. They didn't do no civil rights fighting or nothing. We talking about 1962.
Wasn't doing none of that bullshit.
But this whole narrative that her father was some type of civil rights person is all wrong. All wrong. Wrong.
Her father played a key role. Now check big this is, man, right? Her father played a key role in getting Marcus Garvey booked on false taxation charges.
That's because that's what he's an economist. That's what he went to college. That's what he was a professor for that shit. You know what I'm saying? He knows about economics. That's the thing about him. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to make money.
It's just crazy, man. I just want to keep emphasizing specifically this aspect of her, because this is something that absolutely does not get discussed thoroughly about this chick. It don't get it's not being looked into. It's not being looked into like how it should be. The dots ain't being connected. None of that stuff, because the implications.
Yeah, because she's a criminal.
That's what. Yeah, that's
They're
what I'm saying.
criminals.
That's the whole point. They're all criminals. Most of them.
They're straight criminals. I'm like, bruh, stop it. You know what I'm saying?
Me or you, listen, if me or you was guilty of doing what Kamala Harris did over there with Solarian and PG&E and all of that, and the NRC and the CPUC, involving with Michael PV and all them, listen, if me or you would done that, they would have buried us underneath the prison.
The Trade Commission would be on our ass. It would be a wrap.
It's crazy, man.
Like it's just like
go ahead, leave him with some last words before we get up through, man.
Man, I'm telling you, if you guys are even thinking about it in your mind, just a little bit, thinking about supporting this broad, don't listen to the broads telling you like, oh, yes, she's the first black woman. No, she's not. She's not. Look at her history. She's about as black as Eminem. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop it. You know what I mean? It's like, no, she's not. She's not. You know what I'm saying? Just look at her history. Really dig into her history. Really, really go back into her history. It's public record. It's not like it's hidden. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's hidden. Oh, it's a big conspiracy. No, it's public. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that public information. So like and that's why I don't understand what is wrong with our people. Why are they like what is they cannot be researching for them to back this woman. They are not researching. I'm telling you, collectively, they are not researching about this woman's past. It's like they're not. They're using Google to see what's the next outfit Sexy Red going. You know, what's she gonna wear? You know what I'm saying? What's the next album that's coming out? You know what I'm saying? That's what they looking at. You know what I'm saying? They not looking. You know what I'm saying? Is she gonna be at the is Meg Thee Stallion gonna be at the next event that she holds? It's like, bruh, stop it. You know what I'm saying? Look at this woman's past. That's the problem with us. We just because I heard homie at the corner liquor store told me this and whoop whoop whoop. Okay, cool. That's what he told you. Go research that shit. Go look at it. Look for yourself. That's the thing. Is if we start to look for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Just research. Look for yourself.
Definitely gotta do your own research. Deformed people, man, listen here. Somebody done sit up there and said this to me. So what if she's a whore? So what if she sucked it to the top? I'd rather her be in there than Trump. I said, man, we in trouble, man. I said, we are in trouble. You hear me? Now listen here, y'all. Trump is very corrupt too. Don't even get me started, right? So, and I say that because I don't want nobody to get it twisted. Like, I don't support none of these people. But when it comes to Kamala Harris, though, she's specifically and strategically corrupt because the things she's involved with is going to affect the lives of literally millions of people. Millions. And as a result,
it's going to affect the whole nation. It's going to affect the
whole world, to be honest with you. I'm talking about
the whole world. Yep, you're right.
Destroy the Western Seaboard. It's going to destroy it.
Because once it destroys the Western Seaboard, guess what's going to happen? What's going to happen? The tech's going to crash. All the tech's going to be screwed up. Guess what? You ain't going to be able to get no chicken. You know what I'm saying? The chicken it's going to be hard for you to get chicken. You know what I'm saying? Half of the stuff is grown here anyways. It's exported. You see what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. It's like if this state crumbles, the country is gonna crumble. You see what I'm saying? Because this is the 5th largest economy in the world. It's like there's no way the U.S. will be a superpower without this state. So if you let this state fall into the ground, it's like it's a wrap. Most of your weapons come from here. People don't. Lockheed Martin. Most of your military weapons come over here. They got the military personnel, the most military personnel in the United States is here in California. It's like, so guess what? The state, if you allow this woman to get into office with her corruption and something pops off, like in Diablo Canyon, guess what? The whole country is fucked. You think you're starving now? Watch. Sorry about the F-bomb though, Virgil, but you know what I'm saying.
No, that's all good, man. You know, that's a passionate thing. I ain't tripping, man. But yeah, man.
But people better listen. They really better take this serious.
Get us that Cali.
They really better take this serious. They really better take this. It's not a game, and they're not playing, and they don't care about me or you. They don't care. They don't care. They never cared. It's like all these politicians, these people are putting their faith and life in and trust in. Politicians don't do jack shit. All they do is create policy. You know what I'm saying? The people that you should be looking at and trying to back and be behind and look as your heroes and people to look is your engineers, the people your scientists. Those are the people that make your life a little bit easier. The reason why you got the freaking internet, the reason why you got your telephone, the reason why you got your crutches and all that stuff, the reason why you got instruments to operate on your ass when you get sick. Those are the people you should be praising and investing in. Not sliding these politicians $20,000 when you go to their policeman's ball. You know what I'm saying? Stop it. These people are sick. And they don't care nothing about you at all. And until Americans get it through their head that these people do not care about them, they're going to always get fooled every single election, every single one forever, as long as this country exists. And on that note, I'm out, bro. Thank you for letting me come up.
You already know. Hold on. Hello?
Much respect, Reg.
You already know the phone. Hold on. You already know the phone, pretty boy, man. You know you're welcome to stop through any time, bro. All right, bro. Hold on real quick, bro. Yeah, so you already know what it is, man. Listen, man. Ain't nobody listen. I'm not gonna tell y'all who to vote for. Y'all do what y'all want to do. You feel me? It's up to you. I ain't voting. My vote don't count. Yours don't count. Care what you say. It doesn't. It's a corrupt system. It's going down as we see right in our face, crumbling right in our face. And if Kamala Harris get in there, she's literally going to destroy it. Literally. Because I'm telling you right now, they got Diablo Canyon sitting in the cut for something special. Trust me. Man, I'm telling y'all, man, Diablo Canyon, y'all watch out for that. That's why I said if I was in California, boy, I would get far away from there as possible, man. You know, but I can't say that because we got 4 nuclear facilities in Ohio. We got 4 of them. And a very similar situation happened out here. We'll talk about that later, man. Listen here, man. Smash that like button, click with the bell, subscribe to the page, y'all, man. We're about to get up through, you know what I'm talking about. You understand me? You know, tomorrow night, man, we're going to do something special tomorrow. My brother L going out of town. So, you know what I mean? We're going to do something special for the show for Friday night wrap up, you dig? Smash that like button, click with the bell, subscribe to the page, man. You hear me? Hold on, bro. I'm about to hold on. Y'all sit up there and smash that like button, man. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, listen here, y'all, man. Very important situation going on with this president. This is the most important presidential election in U.S. history. You hear me? It's gonna set the precedent for a lot of stuff, man. You know, if Trump get in there, man, he gonna bring in the smart grid. He gonna bring in social credit system. You know, he really really cool with Xi Jinping and all of them over there. Been doing business with him a long time, and he gonna bring all that stuff that's going on China right on over here. You hear me? Get ready for it, man. Either way it go, we're screwed unless we do something about it. How about that, man? You know what I'm talking about? Hold on. I'm tripping, y'all. It's the perfect song to end the show, too. You know what I'm talking about?
Let me get to it. glitch, nigga. For shit I do on these beats, nigga, I'm legendary. Niggas get to acting like bitches, okay, they Tyler Perry. Hide the women and kids, shit about to get very scary. Sticky bandits, freak while you home alone like Marvin Harry. Up in smoke for real, nigga, I'm blowing heavy. Rolling up be all that I need, it be my method Mary. All my niggas be locked and loaded, we mercenaries. Type of gas I got in this blood will make your vision blurry. I'm in the clouds a lot, I make the pilots worry. Turns out the shit is my fight song, like Katy Perry. Ready for war, soon as I hit the door. I'm ballin', nigga, I'm Kobe as soon as I hit the floor. Taking every shot, shoot that bitch till I score. Hall of Fame bars, I'm Barry Sanders and more. The way I spit this shit, you niggas better take note. The guarantee, when you see me, know I'm up in smoke. Here's the lesson learned. We roll that fire, light that fire, then we let it burn. Up in smoke, nigga, losers gotta wait they turn. We set the city on fire, nigga, court adjourned. We don't need no water, let that motherfucker burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke.
I ain't trying to hear that BS. Please spare me a lecture. I was made to be a diamond because I was born out of pressure. My dad was a G, but the drugs got the best of them. Some grind on their own while others might invest in you. Just long as you plant the seed and grow it like a vegetable. Everything will happen when it's supposed to, like a schedule. Every day I thank God and try to add another decimal. A pretty face is cool, but I need an intellectual. Making moves in silence really speaks to higher decibels. They always said the loudest in the room was the biggest fool. When I go up in the booth, close my eyes and see the visual. Not butcher boys, but trust me, it's about to get critical. Chunks, yeah, we slid a few, knocked them off casually. You claim you on my level, but really that's a fallacy. You still waiting on handouts, that's such a travesty. You're not even amongst my stars, let alone the galaxy.
Here's the lesson learned. We roll that fire, light that fire, then we let it burn. Up in smoke, nigga, losers gotta wait they turn. We set the city on fire, nigga, court adjourned. We don't need no water, let that motherfucker burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke.
Sick positioning, run this shit commissioning. You ain't seeing us, not sure what you're envisioning. We still winning, you in danger and it's imminent. Bunch of sticks outside, walking like picketing. E&E, on fire, man, we sizzling. Leave the scene flickering, damn, they're sickening. No witnesses, damn, all that soliciting. We pack a rainstorm, man, you niggas drizzling. Still riding hot like cars, no air conditioning. Yeah, still blowing loud pack while you whispering. Handicap flow, leave them crippling. Sick discipline, all that mob penmanship. How you rate your bars? Insignificant. I stand behind my bars like imprisonment. Glitch the guarantee 2020 C division. There's nothing to lose if you always win.
Here's the lesson learned. We roll that fire, light that fire, then we let it burn. Up in smoke, nigga, losers gotta wait they turn. We set the city on fire, nigga, court adjourned. We don't need no water, let that motherfucker burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke.